Hey guys, it is Super Nintendo Princess and I am here to analyze the trailers of Tears to the Kingdom because we have less than a week countdown until that game is out and we can be happy, happy, joy, joy. It is Monday night and in 5 days, this Friday, Tears of the Kingdom is going to be in our hands. So let's take a look at what we got. I've got the trailer. It's getting some spaghetti. Oh, I've still got the trailer here. Oh, that is a handy dandy thing. Handy dandy. I've got the trailer ready to watch. I'm ready to watch the trailer. Ready to watch the trailer. I said I'm ready to watch the trailer. It better be quiet. La da 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 bum ba da bum ba da bum ba da bum ba da bum bum ba da 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 da. This is the wrong Zelda theme that I will sing with a Yoshi that's on my head because I don't have a Zelda costume available today. Are you ready? Because we are about to analyze these trailers and just see what we can actually see. You know, I did like a first reaction, and my first reaction, I was kind of just taking it all in, kind of thinking, okay, and now I'm like, oh my gosh, like let's actually think about what is going on in these trailers, and I'm just super duper 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 excited. I'm excited. So if we look, you know, I'm just going to hit pause. If we look, hit pause. There we go. We've got, when we see the gusting wind, we've got Death Mountain on the horizon, and you can see there are the Sky Islands. There's a Sky Island up there, and you can see floating islands everywhere. And Mr. Aonuma, in his gameplay demonstration, you know, he explained that to get to the Sky Islands there are fallen rocks, and you can use a recall power to get the fallen rocks to take you up to the Sky Islands. So that seems really cool. There's a lot of yellow grass up there. You know, it looks a bit different. All of the kind of cell shading looks the same, and the style of graphics is the same, but there's a difference in you know, there's definitely a difference in what the world map looks like, and that's really, it's very exciting. So we're going to continue to see, like, this is just really beautiful stuff, really beautiful. And there's I can't remember what those robots are called. There's one called a construct, but there's a different one. All new enemies in Tears of the Kingdom. There's a new flying enemy that's really exciting. We'll come back to that. Soldier construct. That was what I was looking for. So we've got the beautiful floating scene where I guess we're flying through the clouds. Where is Link coming from? Is he coming from? It's kind of like drone footage, you know. It's really nice. Nintendo have done a beautiful job as usual. You can see Death Mountain over in the background. I'm just gonna go back and pause on that. There's Death Mountain on the left in the corner. You can see other Sky Islands. There's Sky Islands everywhere, actually. And actually there's a lot of Sky Islands. So kind of, it's almost looking a little messy. Like everywhere you go, there's Sky Islands above you. I know they've done that to give us a brand new creative edge. I'm not sure how much I like it, but we'll see. I'm excited to see when I get to play it. So there's a soldier construct chopping a tree. The trees are very yellow. I'm not sure what that's about. When I watched the gameplay demonstration by Mr. Aonuma, he was talking about like there being like a lot of gold trees and yellow trees up in the Sky Islands, but he didn't give a reason, so that's interesting. Link, kind of the scene of Link diving down is quite majestic, but what's interesting is it's almost like they've gone, let's take Skyward Sword, let's take Breath of the Wild, and let's kind of merge them together for this new game. And I wonder if that was pre-planned for a while and if that's why they did the relaunch, the HD relaunch of the Wii game Skyward Sword on Switch.
Zelda, we rely on your knight and that legendary sword he carries. Our last line of defense will be Link.
Link.
This is actually going to be my first time getting a Zelda game on the release day, so I'm excited. Link is just flying down what seems like forever, and he's passed some sky clouds, sky islands, and you know, I'm assuming they've just done that for the trailer. But you can see if we pause on this scene where his paraglider has just opened, you can see there's like some white beams coming up. That definitely looks like a point of interest. Now, I'm not 100% sure if we're going to have shrines again, or if they might. Look, I've got to admit, I loved the open world nature of Breath of the Wild, but part of me missed the traditional Zelda dungeon. You know, did you miss the traditional Zelda dungeon? Let us know in the comments. I'd love to hear that. So he's landing on the ground, and if we go to where he's landing on the ground, well, you see, this looks like, is it Hekendo Village? I'm not sure that it's the same one. I probably said that wrong. I'm sure you're laughing at me. I'm not sure if it's the same village, but you can see that there's a lot of mushrooms around, and I'm not sure what those mushrooms are about. And the one on the left, the green one, almost looks like it has a bit of a frog face, which is kind of fun, don't you think? Yeah, it's really fun. Fun bananas. And then we see, is that a stable? It looks a bit, it's almost looking more desolate than it did in Breath of the Wild, because Breath of the Wild, once you are away from Ganon's castle, Breath of the Wild, everything kind of looked lush and pretty. This is actually looking desolate and a little bit depressing. A little bit of, you know those jeans that had the dirty brown look? Like, it's almost like that. Like, everything has a dirty brown look. Even the sky has a dirty brown look. In this next scene where Link is scaling the cliff, you see there's like a rock rings of rocks, and it's a little bit interesting. What is that rock ring? Is that what is the rock ring? I don't know. Is it something you fly through and something happens? There's also like this weird thing on the ground. I'm not sure if it's a shrine or what it is, but it has some green rings coming up, and I'm wondering if you're supposed to paraglide into those green rings if something happens, or yeah, what the deal is. It's definitely going to be fun to explore. You're going to need a lot of stamina rings to do all that climbing for sure. That's a beautiful kind of almost like drone sort of scene, and then we're seeing the desert, and it's really exciting. Now, people have that this is the Arbiter's grounds from the Twilight Princess. It would be really interesting if the actual Arbiter's grounds temple ended up being here and we could play that. That would be kind of cool. We're seeing something come out of the ground and sand falling off it, which is cool. And then we're seeing Hyrule Castle kind of be lifted into the sky. And I don't know what that red thing is with all the hair. Some people are saying, I mean, it kind of looks like octopus tentacles. It kind of looks like, what are those sea creatures that have all of the tentacle looking things? And I think it's a plant. Like, is it not an amoeba? I don't know what they're called. No, I'm not thinking of amiibos. But people are hypothesizing, is it Ganon? Is it Demise from Skyward Sword? Are they both going to be in it? Are they related to each other in one way? Apparently Skyward Sword's meant to be the very first game. I played Skyward Sword almost to the end. I actually played it in 2019 when I was pregnant with my first little one. It wasn't a game I got at the time it came out. I got Twilight Princess when that was new, but I didn't get Skyward Sword. Well, I got it. Skyward Sword came out first, but I got rid of my Wii after Twilight Princess, and then I ended up getting a Wii U when Twilight Princess came out again. And then I got Skyward Sword after that, so I'm just trying to keep my Yoshi head on. I'm just trying to keep my Yoshi head on, baby! So this scene where Link is falling and reaching for Zelda, if we replay that and we can slow motion, probably slow motion this whole thing, like, where is he falling from and what is on his glove? Is that his glove? Is that his arm? I'm wondering, guys, because his arm looks weird. The desert with a lot of potholes, quicksand holes, potholes. Is something going to come out of those holes? It looks like that's kind of the area where that big skeleton of whatever that whale-like creature was in the desert. And I wonder if that's still there, or if now this is a sequel, not a prequel, I believe. So Link is running towards Hyrule Castle. There's a flying ship. I don't know what that's about. And flying donuts. And there's lasers everywhere. Kind of like the crosshatch lasers in Resident Evil. I don't know what this thing someone described as a gumball machine is. And there's big conks. That is a cool scene. Let's play that in slow motion. This is Amor a my pace. The music's going to be terrible. So we have Link. He is turning some cogs. That's actually a really interesting scene with the gumball looking machine. Is that a temple? Is that like the sky temple type thing? You can see he's somewhere that looks like a dungeon or a temple, because there's a big window leading to outside and he's turning a cog. And then we see another scene that looks like he's flying to one of the mazes perhaps. And then he's, he is, is he riding a horse while whipping a staff? But it looks like, are there people there? There's people fighting the moboblins or whatever they're called. I actually have a moblin doll. Do you want to see? It's so cool. Look at this. Dun, 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 dun. That is one of my favorite toys. I love it. Absolutely love it. I don't know what this weird looking green creature is. I don't know what to think about it. It does look evil. It does not look good. It looks very menacing. I'd be very surprised if they said it was a good thing. And then we see the horse riding, and there's more flowers. I wonder if you can pick those. What is that? I need to get to bed. I have client work in the morning. So there's this gold thing on the wall, and then there's something coming out of it. And then the walls, the other walls, kind of look like stairs or something. It kind of reminds me of the end scene in Labyrinth where the baby's like on the upside down stairs. So something is coming out of that wall. And it looks like, where is it? It seems there's a lot of things called constructs. So I'm wondering if that's like a construct boss maybe. And then there's this beautiful scene of Link in what looks like the main auditorium area of the castle. But there's little spotty spots around, which like indicates it could be a dream. It might not be happening right now. And then we see Zelda, and she's just so beautiful. Zelda just blows my mind how gorgeous she is. Well, she has short hair. She looks like she's in a position of captivity or slavery. And, you know, we see the entire Master Sword in the next scene, and it's glowing green and it's very pretty. But I know there's pictures on the internet where it has like this weird calligraphy, hieroglyph, is that the word? I don't know. Not calligraphy, that was the wrong word. I don't know who this guy like touching Zelda is, who seems a lot taller than her. And then there's this scene, let's pause, where Link is floating on the clouds, and let's really take that in. There are sky islands everywhere. This game is going to be crazy because it's like a multi-level facet. You've got the ground, and now you've got the upper ground, the sky island. I'm wondering if, like, because obviously that's risen up from the earth. So I'm wondering if where it's risen up from is just barren and there's nothing there, or if new stuff has, like, filled that space since the sky island went up to the sky. So Link is riding something, and then he is fighting some more of those construct things. Construct enemies. And then I don't know what this big ball in the sky is, but I definitely want to jump in that. I'm wondering if that's the equivalent of, like, the divine beasts. So I loved, this is bothering my head. I really loved Breath of the Wild, but I was kind of a little bit in two minds where I was like, the shrines, the sheer volume of shrines, and just the shortness of them was a nice change from the long-winded dungeons, because sometimes I had a mentality where I'm like, oh, I just want to get through this dungeon to get to the next part of the story. And then there were other dungeons I enjoyed a lot more. Like, I loved the forest temple in Ocarina of Time. I'm never really a fan of fire temples. Ice temples can be annoying. Everybody knows everybody hates the water temple in Ocarina. I loved Majora's Mask. Just loved that game. So I had a bit of a love-hate where I did miss your traditional bosses in terms of, you know, you had things like hinoxes and Linnells, but there were lots of hinoxes and there were lots of Linnells or Lionels. Hi, Lionel. But in a traditional Zelda game, you had your halfway dungeon boss, and then you had your end of dungeon boss. And I missed that. I missed that unique once in a game boss. You know, you had giant spiders or giant slugs or giant bulls or just all sorts of things, you know. So I did miss that. So I'm wondering if those big balls in the sky are like the new, like equivalent of the divine beast. And then there's, oh, someone throwing a fiery rock at Link. That is intense. Intense! And he's riding a rocket into the sky. Let's just recap that one more time, guys. That is worth watching again. That is intense. He's just hanging onto a rocket. He's not getting a burnt bum or anything. I mean, my bum's just burning looking at him. He is just launching that rocket into the sky, and, you know, the little platforms he's jumping on, it's almost like they've gone, this is our new element. This is the new element. And then there's a construct riding a minecart shooting at Link. So that's interesting. There's a lot going on. Was that a boss? Let's go back. Right before we see Zelda, we see this weird looking, almost like a construct slug coming out of the ground. So it's almost like there's a lot of kind of machina type robots, more so than the previous game.
I know why I am here. It's something only I can do.
Do not look away. You witness a king's revival and the birth of his new world.
Okay, let's go!
But you are not alone.
Link. You are our final hope.
It's interesting. Have we ever heard Ganon talk before? I don't remember. I don't think there's any voices in Twilight Princess.
Link.
Wasn't Breath of the Wild the first one
must
with
find
talking?
me.
I don't remember Ganon talking. There's something that looks like a weird crocodile thing chasing Link. Num 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 num. And there's a flying scene. There's probably going to be a lot of flying scenes. I'm wondering who that princess is, if she's related to Zelda, if she's a temporary character. Then we've got a Goron there. That's pretty cool. There's a fight with a construct. It looks like there's a three-headed dragon. That's not something we've seen in Zelda before. Or have we? Did we? Maybe I'm thinking of another game. So the green in the circle, I'm wondering what that is. And there's you know, it's very interesting. Is that a fish? What is that exactly? So that's the one trailer. And then I think the other two are quite short. That's the long trailer. The next trailer, we've got lightning, there's something in the sky, there's flying beasts with big wings, guys. That is the biggest flying enemy I remember seeing in a Zelda game. And we've got lights beaming out of somewhere in the background. Is that where Hyrule Castle? No, that's not Hyrule Castle. What is that? It definitely looks like a point of interest that I want to fly to. I cannot wait to get this game. I am pumped. This is looking prettier now, although it's dark. There's clouds floating. It just looks really excellent. These scenes are starting to look more familiar with little mobkin camps. Now that three-headed dragon looks like it's sitting on the bridge that goes to Hyrule Castle, and that's actually reminding me more of Twilight Princess than it is Breath of the Wild or Skyward Sword. It kind of reminds me of Twilight Princess. You have that long bridge, and you had some fights on that bridge. That long bridge that leads up to Hyrule Castle, and that looked like the same bridge that three-headed dragon was on. So what is the significance of the three-headed dragon? Are the three heads opposing the Triforce? What's going on? And then is that where that professor guy lives? That really tall building? I don't know. Is that, it's not Hatendo. What was the village where the that professor lived? Like moblins with different head stuff on. Now, have I never noticed, was the wooden shield in the last game, or was the traditional Hylian shield in the last game? I can't even remember, or was it both? Did you start with one and get a better one? I can't remember. That's really bad that I can't remember. Now we just saw something called a golem construct, and that is kind of fighting a bit like the stone talus, but it's its own different enemy. The castle's looking pretty gross with those lava-like arms. Why is that? It kind of looks like flowing lava, but it's pointing up to the sky, you know, like beams. And then I don't know what that creepy character with the glowing eyes is. I really have no idea what that is. I may need to do some more research. I'm so excited, so excited. What do you think? What do you think of what we're looking at so far? I wanted to go into more depth and more detail than I had time for the other day. So Link in this scene is standing looking at what is looking like a less cluttered sky. This is looking like there's less sky islands, unless he's just lower down and there's more above him. It's looking like there's less sky islands. And what's the platform he's standing on, and what's the significance? And he jumps down. Whoa, Geronimo! And there's some flying thing. A lot of the game is looking the same. It does kind of feel a bit like an expansion. And I don't think that's bad. Nobody get offended. I was really excited to get the expansion. I haven't finished that really hard challenge yet. I would like to. I got past the first 10 out of the 40, but I can't do the second 10. And there's more compounds falling from the sky. Right at the end of that trailer, you see Link is running. And as he's running, you see, like, is it compounds falling from the sky? What did Mr. Ayanuma say? Fallen rocks, compounds. Oh, and then what is that? Red goo. There's red goo flying at Link. The slow motion fall is very dramatic. And then we've got one left to look at again. So we have the hieroglyphic type. Who is this hieroglyphic person? Is it that weird looking green sort of creature from the previous trailer? I'm not sure. The hieroglyphics are really creepy. The moblins are identifiable, and the little moblins, the big ones, is it bobbikins? Ooh! The bobbikins and moblins are identifiable. I don't necessarily think everything else is. And then there's a princess who looks like she's being hurt. I'm wondering if that's the other princess that we saw, and then there's a glimmer of another princess holding hands with someone, and that looks like it might be Link. So then these gates open, and if we look at the gates, there is that like an eel on either side, like two eels making the gate entrance. That is so interesting. I got the Yoshi hat back on. Oh, let's fall through the clouds, fall through the clouds. I'm gonna rap about Link. He's falling through the clouds. He's Link. Pop, pop. He's Link. Pop, pop. He's gonna save Princess Zelda and all of Hyrule because he's Link. Pop, pop. He's Link. Pop, pop. Oh, he's on a flying disc. It's shaped like a something. Is that seriously it? Wow, I started with the longest trailer and got to the shortest. So what is he doing? Oh, look at that, like exploding dust behind him. I'm really excited. I have seen videos where people are like really zooming in on tiny aspects and comparing it to the map and going, ooh, like, you know, let's analyze what this is. And I don't necessarily think that I am that tuned in, you know, but we can have a look at the still shots that are available next. And it was, you know, it was even hard trying to figure out, like, when you're flying in Breath of the Wild, where are you supposed to go? I can see when we're on this eagle-shaped glider, I can see as the logo circles around Link, there's like a green kind of pad on the ground, and I'm wondering what that does, and I'm excited to find out. Like, is that something that you do stasis or something on? I don't really know. So they're the three trailers, and then we have you know, the Baba variant plant was seen at E3 apparently in the 2021 teaser. We've been waiting forever for this game. I've never waited for a sequel for a game for so long. You know, I loved Majora's Mask. I thought Majora's Mask was better than, I honestly thought it was better than Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time was amazing. You had the 3 baby dungeons, and then was it 5 or 6 big ones? I liked the progressive aging. I just loved the dun-dun, like 3 days to save the world type thing. It's interesting that they chose 3 days. Ice Arachnid, seen in the final trailer, this is on game8.co, is shown to emerge from an icy vortex inside a tornado. I actually thought it was a robot as opposed to an icy anything. Someone's calling that giant shark thing a mudfish. We've got Linnell's, Choo Choo, Octoroks, and Moldiga. And then Moblins and Hinox, Oh My, and Talus, and Lizalfos. They're always fun. And Keys, and Choo Choo, Linnell, Octorok. And then we've got a few new ones. So Snake Construct, Golem Construct, Giant Keys is the flying thing, and there's something they're calling a Redead. Seems like a modern take of the Redead from previous Zelda titles has made its way into Tears of the Kingdom. That is game 8. Game8.co. I'm wondering if they're talking about, do you remember in Ocarina of Time when you go into the, you crawl into the tombs? Is it tombs? Or catacombs? I don't know. It's like tunnels where the dead are buried, as opposed to, it's in the cemetery, and there are those like sort of zombie creatures that are like, ooh, those freaked me out. And then if you are not quick enough getting past them, you freeze and it's like a screech and then it latches on your face. That was freaky in Ocarina of Time. They freaked me out. And the hands that would come and drop down on you like big hairy spiders. Now, the Flame Gleeok is the name of the three-headed dragon according to Game8.co. And apparently there's a reference to the monster with dark fog of the something ruins, Typhlo ruins, in Breath of the Wild. Oh, and I just got a virus warning, so I guess I won't finish reading that page. So, I'm definitely, oh, let's look up, Still Shots, Tears of the Kingdom. Nintendo Gallery releases 27 new stills with a picture of Link lifting his hand up, almost like he has a bionic hand or something. I don't know what that's about. And then there's Floating Link. I saw that on my Switch. I've got my Switch here. We've got Floating Link. That's right there. That is so exciting, 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 exciting. Now his hair is looking very gold. Ah, he's got like one glove on. Is it a glove? Is it something his arm's attached to? And it looks like wherever he's floating down from, it looks like there's a load of sky islands in a big semicircle below him. And then obviously, you know, the land below, and there's a flying dragon in the sky. I don't know what that red liquid is. The still shot of Link, and he is on a horse, and I'm not sure what the red and grey kind of blobs on the left side are at all. I can't tell what they are. Like tents? Are they something else? It looks like something's chasing Link. What is that? Or is that just the horse leg? I can't tell. And there's a picture of you know, a little hovercraft. What is that big ball in the sky? I need to know about the big ball. And then you have like a tank. It would be cool if you started off with a motorbike, like the DLC for Breath of the Wild. That would be really cool, don't you think? And then we have a partridge in a pear tree. Bum, bum. There's a close-up of Link's hand. Looks a little bit like the Sheikah plate looked before. And then Link has like a laser gun that is looking kind of amazing. The blue gun shooting whatever weird shapes it's shooting is interesting. And then I don't know what Link is doing there. Is he doing the magnet thing, or he's moving the magnet? And it looks like there's like an iron door that he's possibly trying to blast. And what is that over on the right? Is that there's like the red tentacle things like pointing to the sky. There's a lot going on. It's a lot to think about. And then you've got, you know, what is that? This looks like the Goron Mines area where you have the moblins and stuff. But what is that big rock with the red stuff on it that looks like spray paint? Is it blocking something? This weird looking flying fish, I think the last website that I mentioned said it was a big keys. That isn't, like, I always thought of a keys as a bat. This looks like a fish with bat wings. It's very amphibious looking actually. So that's an exciting amphibian. Amphibian. That reminds me of the Caribbean amphibian song from the 80s. He's a Caribbean amphibian. He likes to hop in the tropical sea. Getting my hair all eaten by Yoshi. What is that thing? Is that Ganon? What is going on? This scene, when I saw this scene in the original trailer, it looked to me, at the very brief, quick glance, without pausing or anything, it looked to me as if he was in a divine beast or something. And these arms are like reaching out, or these tentacle hands are reaching out. Well, upon the screen grab or the capture that Nintendo have issued, it's actually looking like it's someone's house. Is that Link's house? Is it a random house in like Nintendo or whatever? I don't know. I don't know. My guess is as good as yours. But I'm definitely really, really excited to find out. And then we've got another really beautiful scene where Link is, he's dealing with moblins, and there's some that have like a horn on their head, and there's some that have like a skull-like crest on their head, kind of like those dinosaurs. Is it Ankylosaurus? Ankylosaurus? Ankylosaurus! That's it. And then this image is really captivating. You've got Link gliding. Now there's some things hanging off his glider and they look new. What's attached to them? Anything? And you've got these little toadstool-like landing pads that I guess prevent you from landing on the ground below. And I do remember we had them in Breath of the Wild, so it's nice to see some familiar things. We've got a hinox. There's a lot going on. It's hard to figure out what is going on with the castle. What is this like goo? And these screen captures were apparently released by Nintendo. You can see these on videogameschronicle.com. They have these screen captures. There's a picture of Link looking at the moon, and you can see the shield in great detail. And then the next screenshot is where you see that it's definitely the very beautiful bridge that leads to Hyrule Castle. And you can see, is that Hyrule Castle in the background? Or is that something else? I would have thought maybe the three-headed dragon was like keeping Link and other people out of Hyrule Castle, but it looks like Hyrule's on the other side on the left there. And there's some lightning. And is that Death Mountain? There's red goo coming out of that. There's red goo coming out of the left side. Not really sure what the red goo is. Now, if you have a look at this next image where you see the Bobacan camp, there's something very interesting. There's a lot of blue things on the ground. I'm not sure if that's something to mine or collect, but what is that tree that looks like it's yellow and glowing and looks like it has a gooey kind of heart or something at the bottom? I don't know what that's about. It's very interesting. And then we have the flying creatures that I'm wondering if they're just around Hyrule, because obviously Hyrule's going to need more protection. And then you've got the monsters. And then you've got Link with very primitive shoes and very primitive hair, looking out at the sky stuff. And is there anything else? We don't know what's going on. We do not know what's going on. But one thing I know is that I'm completely amped for this game. I have set Friday aside. Friday, I'm just going to play this game. And I'm actually a little bit mind blown. I got my Nintendo Switch out tonight and I was like, there's got to be a playable demo. There's got to be a playable demo. Why isn't there a playable demo? I would assume that Nintendo are trying to make us just so desperate that everyone runs out and buys it. And maybe if there was like a 10-minute playable demo, people would be like, oh, I love it, but I've had a little bit of a fix, so I can wait like another week. And maybe they want to avoid that. I would think a playable demo would make people go, oh my gosh, I need this. I need this today. I need it tomorrow. I don't know. I don't know why we didn't get one. All I know is that I'm so excited. I didn't get Breath of the Wild or a Switch until Christmas 2018, and the Switch was 18 months old or longer, and Breath of the Wild was 18 months old or longer, and now this is coming out and I'm like gonna have it on time. I didn't get any of the Zeldas on time. My first Zelda was A Link to the Past and I was 13, so it was 1995 when I got it. I think it came out in 92 or 93 or maybe even 91. Maybe it was one of the first games on the SNES. Link's Awakening on Game Boy was relatively new when I got it. I do think I got that one quite new, but not the first day. And then I begged my mum for a Nintendo 64 and got Ocarina of Time, got Majora's Mask pretty quick after it came out. And then unfortunately I switched to PlayStation for a little while, and I had PlayStation 1 and 2, and I never got a GameCube. And then I got a Wii. And I had Twilight Princess, and I loved like slash. I found it very engaging, but it was also quite exhausting going slash. It's very tiring, you know, click, stab. Has some more like stamina. You can keep at that longer. And then I got rid of my Wii. You know, I've been self-employed doing photography and videos since 2007. Funnily enough, I got into that because I wanted to be a YouTuber, and then back in 2006. And then I got so busy with client stuff that I just couldn't YouTube, which is so ironic. And so now I'm like, I need to get back into YouTube. And then my first YouTube account, I don't even remember the password for. Like, there's still videos there, but I can't get into it. And so hopefully that doesn't make a bunch of people try and find my original YouTube and try and get into it. But anyway, I ended up getting rid of my Wii because when you're self-employed, you're working 100 hours a week, and when you're doing anything fun, you feel guilty, like you should be working on your business. And so I got rid of the Wii. And then it was probably 2009 or 2008 or 2007 or 8 that I got rid of this Wii. 2016, I was just like, I'm so like needing some video games. I need something fun, and I went out and I bought a Wii U, and I feel like, did I have a Wii? I remember getting Donkey Kong Country when I lived in Australia in 2012, but what would I have got it on if I didn't have a Wii? I don't know. Anyway. Or maybe I got it and then I got rid of it. Maybe I got rid of it a lot later than I thought I did because of space restrictions. Anyway, I'm just super excited, guys. Super excited. I know you're excited with me. I know we are just going to have these guys are going to be together again. It doesn't look like Zelda's going to be wearing this outfit. Wait, did Link have a round shield? I don't remember him having a round shield. Wait, no, he did, didn't he? I don't know. I don't even know. Da 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 bum ba 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 ba da 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 da. If you are excited to play the game, please leave a comment. I can't wait. You know, I'd love to hear what your favorite parts are when you play it. I'm going to play it Friday. You're going to play it Friday. Oh, everyone on the planet's going to play it Friday. It's going to be amazing. And I want to hear what you love about it. You know, are you loving the color palette? Is the colors weird to you? Are you liking the Sky Island idea? Is it not so good? Is it looking better? It's definitely looking different. It's definitely looking different. I'm just excited, and I hope to share your excitement. Don't forget to subscribe and hit like and share with your friends and watch the next video because there is going to be a lot more Zelda here, and I'll see you next time, guys.